I don't even remember how these guys sounded. Ah, and one more thing. So it went. Ah, and one more thing. Well, it is 1:30 at midnight, but it is the weekend, so I'll try keep my voice at a level that's not too loud but not too quiet. Mr. Hairlock Sherms. If I recall, if I was to recap, we completely dissected Pavlova, who was originally named. This one, Grimsby Roylet, and I gave that voice like, "Oh, I know the Russian gentleman traveling on the ship. He's staying in the first class cabin next to Kazuma." And then we took off the hat and the beard. It was Nicolina, and it was like, "A young ballerina who's fled her homeland." No, I'm just trying to remember the voices for myself. "A young ballerina who's fled her homeland or Russia to escape the Novavich." It reminds me of the no sir lady from Family Guy. "No sir, no." And then Hairlock Sholmes. Oh, he's only 34. Oh, okay. There's not a person in the world who hasn't heard of this famous great detective. Not a person except me, apparently. I mean, that's speaking in, oh my god, I forgot my own character's name. Oh no! It's Naru. Oh god, alright. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, Ryu, that's it. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrist. My... Oh. Ah, your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. Ugh. When? Why? There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naru. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment. Huh. Can't it? Really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was. Present. My dog is snoring. Yo, wake up! Wake up! Wait! Wait! No snoring. University collar pin. What do you think of my pin? Can I show you this? I'm actually a university student from the Empire of Japan, you see. That means nothing to me. No, why would it? Miss Naruto? If you're determined to flaunt your Yumi... Wait, Mr. Naru, what the hell? If you're determined to flaunt your Yumi badge, at least choose a Japanese person who might recognize it. Miss Cesaro, can I show you this? Maybe later. Oh, I could show Inspector Hosonaga too. That was cool. I guess I show the book last? I do not know. I'm gonna just... I mean, we just started, but I'd rather just make a quick save just to play it on the safe side. Let's... I mean, we haven't even seen... The dog is still in there, isn't it? At least we should examine stuff, shouldn't we? I don't know what we should start doing. But let me see.
Don't touch!
Huh?
I will tell you what I know about last night, but please, you must not touch my things. How do you say, forbid it?
Oh, sorry.
As well you should be, young man. What vulgar manners you have. Poking around in a young lady's private belongings? Neither shall I allow it.
Ugh, hypocrite. It's like that for everything? Okay. I guess when she's not here, when she's like... maybe arrested? If she's gonna tell us, then we might as well present. Miss Pavlova, would you take a look at this?
I don't know. I don't know anything. Miss Naru, Mr. Naru, you're frightening this poor girl.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't trying to. Oh, same thing. Okay, Miss Pavlova, about this article. Did you know about this merciless revolutionary already?
No. No. But when I saw the picture, I couldn't believe it. He looks just like me in my disguise.
Huh? Am I the only one around here with eyes? The other man, the one wearing the brown... Wait? Oh.
The other man, the one wearing the brown, he also said so. He said we look the same.
Wearing the... oh, hair locks. Yes, he says a lot of things, but I have a strong feeling that besides you and the great detective, you won't find another soul on this ocean who thinks there's any similarity there at all.
Mr. Naru, I won't allow you to speak ill of Mr. Sholmes.
No, I wouldn't dream of it. And is this... can I show the backs? Okay. Miss Pavlova, about this article. You look so beautiful. Like a fairy.
Oh, you look so beautiful, like a fairy. I'm scared. If my picture is in the newspapers. You poor girl.
Oh shit. She's so young. She's 15 years old. For her to have run away all by herself. She must have felt very, very alone. This is where I'm very unsure if I should show the book or not. If the book will progress. Because that's sort of our goal is to inspect the speckled band. So I'm just like... nervous. That's a word, don't I? A diary. Let's see. This is the diary of my friend who passed away.
His diary?
Yes. And he wrote it, and he wrote in it last night before he died something a little unusual. It seems. I just want to make sure. Oops, hold on. Hello. Okay, we're good. Yes, and he wrote. It reads 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound, and then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? I don't understand.
It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins to this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words,
In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh. Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you, or the whistling sound perhaps? No. I don't know
I
anything.
think she's lying. Oh. Okay. We continue. What happened last night? Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night?
One of the Kurumen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast.
The man who died, he was a friend of mine.
Oh,
Oh, she's shocked? That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night?
perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking?
Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that happened.
Miss Pavlova? Is there anything you can tell us? I don't know.
Oh, this music.
I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me.
Oh, I see. I like this tune. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet?
Yes, I am traveling to Great Britain from here. From there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life.
You wish to forget? A challenging proposition, when you have that striking tiara as a reminder.
But that tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money on my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us a little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me.
Killed me.
So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes, and the crew of the ship, they all have been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin.
Hide in this cabin?
If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum.
Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naru?
Me? Oh, well, yes. Of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... So someone was living in this room before?
Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Burya stopped by no port
Last night? Ah, that's it. Of course.
So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard?
Huh?
Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about the occupant of this cabin came aboard.
Really?
That is not your business.
Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. Maybe father? I don't know. Look, though, she doesn't have parents, does she? Oh.
An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to this age.
Sorry, what was that?
It is how the Russian newspapers describe one of my performances. And
What the hell?
And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens because I am an angel.
Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid.
Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist a touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same.
A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. Well, that's unfortunate. So the friend you mentioned inside the traveling case, is that right?
I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh please, don't tell any of the crew if they found my precious.
Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. Ah! So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes.
But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it?
No?
Mm-mm.
Maybe an adorable little rabbit?
Mm-mm.
Ha! You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then? You may well ask. I have no idea. Ha. Ha. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken.
Really?
Wait, what?
Consider the benefits.
A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. So, you'd eat your friends, I'll remember
that. No. Misa, no.
Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. She's obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. Knock, knock.
Excuse me, Mr. Roylett.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yes? Yes? What?
Yes? What? Wow, she's fast. Yes? What?
Captain would like to speak to you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please.
Alright, I will come now. What? You must leave. No. Oh no, it's fine. Don't mind us.
Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Wallet.
Get out! The passenger said out.
Wow.
The passenger said out. Or you want me to throw you out?
Oh god, what happened to my accent? Looks like we'll have to leave. We have to leave investigating this cabin until later.
What a pity. No. Please no. It is Russian.
And so we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Whee! To be continued. Oh. Spicy. Alright. Part 2. 9th January, SS Burya, first class cabin passageway.
I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that.
I wish we managed to find some clue as to what that speckled man might be.
We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guard on the door.
He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. We can go through the tunnel. The theme. What is it?
What is it?
Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go?
Oh yes, he completely disappeared.
I was gonna say, when did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. Is he still in the room then? I'm going to do that last. That might be an event.
No.
I really wish we had the chance to look around in Miss Pavlova's cabin.
What? Why would you look like that? Why you look like that? You want something? Maybe you want me to throw you out again,
Oh no, definitely not that.
Next time I have to throw you out, I'll show you where lobsters bend window. Understand?
I understand. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face.
Don't think you'll ever forget your face, Naru-san.
The book is empty. I mean, we could go to the second door, maybe?
That door leads to the second class area.
It's locked. I can't open it.
Oh, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape.
Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. The chair. The mousetrap door. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin.
Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-sama's.
Sorry?
Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin.
You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been called home. Anyway, I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga has managed to uncover any new clues.
Yes, we should probably find him and ask.
That's that. Let's move. Seaman Stroganov. Farmed Russian ballerina Nikolina Pavlova. She's on her run from her homeland. Hey, Manolia Luna. Thank you for the for the follow. Hope you're doing well. How's your day going? I think I remember your name before, but if it's your first time following, thank you for the follow. Again, how's your day going? Hope it's going well, or if it's nighttime or evening. Anyways, 9th January. Still 9th January, okay. It looks like they're still investigating in here. I don't notice anything different.
Yes, on that subject. I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga is unscathed.
Unscathed? Ugh. What do you mean, unscathed?
Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naru-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd laid his life on the line for you.
Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. But he's not here. He's not here. Is the book missing on this side? Am I tripping? Oh, there he is. I was gonna say, we're speaking to him, but he doesn't look like he's here, but he is. Is he bleeding more? Wait, what is happening? Alright, let's see. Let's see and if there's anything new we haven't inspected. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard as this is bad. Passengers
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
So by bringing her pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules. Correct.
She called it a friend, didn't she?
Yes, although we don't know what form of this friend takes as yet. A bat.
I'm almost certain.
A snake? But we don't hear hissing sounds.
I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin.
A friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. Let's see the books. Books is okay, it's not missing. All the books provided for passage occupying this cabin neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yes, and you tidied them up, didn't you?
You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins lead to damage.
But it really wasn't me who knocked them over.
Well, anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy.
Oh, so she doesn't say anything about it? This is not... Well, that's new. Nothing on the bone. We'll speak to the crewman, the table. What happened to Hasunaga? I'm practically saving every 5 minutes, but I'm very, unsure what could happen. So let's do the floor. So it's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilt on the floor, and they spell the Russian word for wardrobe.
It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naru-san, as you were sleeping in there.
But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelled out my name, don't you think?
Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words all word in Russian.
It's someone who did it. The killer. What begs the question of who did write it? Yeah. Okay, that was weird. I thought I heard something, but it was just my fire notification. Whoa. You! Where did you go? Oh, sorry. I just went to the next door cabin. Wait! Whoa, wait. Next door cabin investor. Wait! Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hasanaga did. The new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into ball and throw him in cold room. Whew. He's gone back to guarding the door.
I hope Inspector Hasanaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on her account.
He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival.
That could be a very long time from now, son.
Oh, it's back to... Alright, the table. Let's do the air vent. So this ventilator joins to Miss Pavlova's cabin.
Yes, that's right.
And just a few minutes before he died, Cosmos saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it.
If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we were.
Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything though.
I'm not sure.
I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. This is where Cosmos spent his final moments writing his diary.
1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
Looking at his writing here on this page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone.
Kazuma-sama left us with a valuable clue in these words. I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Naru-san.
We will. Alright. Speak to Hugh. What the fuck? You're back. Inspector!
What happened to you? Your face is...
Please don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Made by a bear, maybe? When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fist, then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. It looks like he wasn't joking when he said he laid his life on the line if he had to. Jesus Christ.
Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin.
A little? Yeah. Yes, I understand.
Oh.
I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Jones. I don't think he was German though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes then? I can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Oh. Why? Why only a little? Okay, the cabin next door. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please! What self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? Oh. Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated. Well, that tells. I'm just going to do my normal voice. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case, at least. Oh, how? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, now I've definitely upset him.
Inspector, has your investigation in here provided fruitful?
If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job.
Oh, I see.
Ah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what?
Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please.
The music silences? Oh. What is this new information you have, Inspector? It is this. The Barrier's medical officer has finished the examination of the body and managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report?
Kazuma-sama.
So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report.
His neck was broken?
Yes, it would seem so. There was no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found out no traces of poison in his system at all. Wait, what? Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet. But the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility. Oh,
it is a possibility, and no obvious wounds would be left.
Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. Oh.
Ooh.
After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Ah. The post-mortem report has been entered into the court record. A report from the SS Bohu's medical officer giving the cause of death as a cervical spine injury. There were no traces of external injury or poison. Alright, let's inspect. Male, Far Eastern, sometime between 1 AM past 2 PM. Yep, damage to the cervical vertebrae resulted in instant death, so he wouldn't be able to write. The victim's neck was almost completely broken as a result of a strong blow to the area. No obvious external injuries or traces of poison. The Great Detective.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he?
Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes, just one thing. But he practically shouted, "It's shoe polish!" Was all he said. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there by this piece of broken glass, you see. Ah, perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think? Ah, yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that was its shoe polish? The smell? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. He licked the floor. What is it, Suzato-san?
Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue.
So he was dragged. Dark tan, a sort of dark brownish red then.
Yes, a little like the color of the red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him.
Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor? A piece of metal, a small glass object, and what looks like a scuff mark made by Kazuma's shoes were found by the victim's body. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. It's a magnifying glass, but I still don't understand this glass object. It's like a bell to me. Maybe that's what it was struck with, the bell? I don't know. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you. Ahem.
Poor Inspector, you look exhausted.
Oh no, well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asogi-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You are his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. Oh, my dog. I need to wake up my dog again. Alright, what's now? Nope. Do we move? Nope. Oh, the shoe mark. We're investigating the shoe mark. Not the sword. Okay, not the door. I guess we reinvestigate the shoe mark. It really is such a beautiful color, this glass. It looks like whatever it was has broken clean in two. But the other half is nowhere to be seen. And then there's a brick-colored mark, which is shoe polish, according to that great detective you seem to know all about.
I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes.
Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure it's shoe polish and not something else?
Because he's a great detective, of course.
That's hardly a reason, is it? It's weird if it's just how's it shoe polish if it's just like 1 foot, and it's not like it's going to his feet. I don't know. I'm not fully convinced. I'm not fully convinced at the moment. How many? Dang, I got a lot of. Oh Jesus! I didn't realize I have this many episode 2s. Oops. I forget, what was the situation here exactly? The security guard might be still there. Oh no, he's not. 9th January. Mrs. Burrier, first class. cabin passageway. Ah,
Look, Naru-san. Seaman Stroganoff has gone.
strong enough?
The barely Russian sailor who's always crossing his arm and glaring at us.
Ah, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. Tra-la, tra-la-la-la. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Tra-la-la-li-a-la-li-a-la, I did it the great detective way. This caroling, I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that for now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right.
Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate.
Definitely, before that stringy knot crewman comes back.
It's Stroganoff, not Stringy Knot.
And I'm back. Oh, what are you doing? You are dead. Miss Pavlova's cabin.
What the fuck are you doing?
this
This could be our chance.
what?
The barely sailor doesn't appear to be around at the moment. We could investigate every last inch of that cabin.
I'm not sure if we could go that far, but we could certainly do with looking around more. I'm sure we could learn something. Oh, there. Oh, no shit.
Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look.
Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next to you.
He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself.
That's how he was. Oh. Tra-la-la-li-la-li-la-lay, I did it the great detective way. I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or simply
he's simply in extremely high spirits.
yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew.
And through it all, where there was doubt, its lucky hairlock was about.
I should do this entire thing.
Tra-la-la-la, lira-lira-lay, I did it the great detective way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, its lucky airlock was about.
Excuse me.
I solved it all and stood tall. I did it the great detective way.
Mr. Sholmes! Oh my god.
Ah! What is it? You want to fight?
Honestly?
Interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was about to reach the climactic finish.
Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is a good time as any.
I never dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hook. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks.
Alright, I get the picture. Now, could you put those fists away? Wow.
Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you.
Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here.
Yes, the ship's log.
And did you find out anything useful from it?
No.
Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of entries are blank, which means that there was nothing to report, nothing of note happened. So
You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it.
Sorry?
Your logic, my boy, is inverted.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
Observe the other pages and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman stands sentry in this first-class passageway, as he has almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour.
Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes?
Nothing to report?
Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report.
Do you mean?
He's in the cahoots. Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from his post.
What kind of circumstances? What happened?
That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribbling nothing to report in the log. There are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental life.
Wait, what? Mental file. Oh my god. I'm butchering while doing his accent.
There are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file.
The ship's log has been entered into the court record. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Nothing to report. Nothing to report. So this is what... Huh. Nothing to report.
Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes brilliant. Oh, ouch.
What is it? Are you hurt?
Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning. For some reason, nothing more.
3 people have it.
Well, my friends, until our next encounter.
He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders down the passageway. Something wrong, Mrs. Otterson? You seem lost in thought.
It's just, well, I feel the same.
Huh? Sorry?
Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing.
Oh, you too? Huh. Maybe this is where I feel like something's about to happen, because maybe the killer is in the room and then we see him and then he escapes. Oh, then he pushes us and then he escapes. Oh god. Here it goes. Oh, the briefcase is open. 9th January, Belia, first class cabin number 2. The coats? There's coats. Was there coats before? Miss Pavlova isn't back yet.
Mrs. Otterson? Oh!
Oh, Suzato-san? Oh, where's she's gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things.
There's not a moment to waste, Naru-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can.
I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake.
Not just for Kazuma-sama.
What do you mean?
It can't be long now until we arrive at the port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in front of. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there.
Really?
We must solve this case now, son, by ourselves if we have to.
Yes, we will. The first thing that draws my attention is the book.
It would seem this teapot is empty.
So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are very thirsty people.
Or because Miss Pavlova only came into this cabin last night. She hadn't had the chance to make any tea yet? I mean, it could be either.
It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it.
You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naru-san?
What? Should save. Wait, did I save? I don't know. Screw it. Let's just save again. Yeah, I did save. What am I doing? I'm just trying to think at the moment. Something tells me this is going to be empty.
I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket.
Shall we have a look and see what's thrown away?
No, son. It's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish, you know?
Ugh, those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish right now.
However, these are special circumstances, I think.
Exactly, we have no choice. It's empty. There's hardly anything in here at all.
Oh, well, that's a little disappointing.
That's different.
I wonder what this little sauce is doing on the floor.
Yes, it doesn't look like it's being chopped. More like it was put there deliberately.
Ah, do you think
there could be a leak in the roof just above here? What? A leak?
Is this ship quite safe?
I'm sure that even if there is a little leak on the floor, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink.
No, you're right. Of course you're right.
She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? Desk. There are just a few books on the desk, nothing else by the looks of it.
Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all.
That's true. Give me a second. Alright. I wonder what kind of books she'd like to read.
Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys
writing. That was a lot.
Books written in Russian.
Thanks. I think I probably already knew that. The way she flicked the pages was fast.
It's rude to ask too much of people, Naru-san. Kindly remember that.
All the books have toppled over together. Look, every single one.
Do you think that's a god of the sea? Perhaps he's toppled too, though.
It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door, in Kazuma's cabin.
Perhaps...
Don't you dare.
Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase?
I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company?
Ooh. Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage?
Not everything bad that happens on this ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing... Oh,
Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray.
now let's see. It looks the same. But when someone comes back, she's going to notice. That's going to be bad. Yes, they displayed in this cabin too. Look, the SS Burya's ruler passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. We already know that.
Suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. A special friend, I mean.
I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. It's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. Maybe it's a mouse. That's why the mouse trap? I don't know.
I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard.
Oh, yes. So do I. Could be a mouse. But hence the mouse trap? Or the trap in general? Well, it can't be a mouse, because then if a mouse would just go for it. It could be in that bag. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. If the bolt's drawn across, there's no way anybody could enter the cabin from outside.
Yes, it's not particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it?
But still,
it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it?
no, and the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the outside.
And its sails are perfectly too. So, to stop any seawater coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through a crack around the closed door either.
I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. I guess we look at the briefcase. It's not this bag. It's not?
Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open.
It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding a special friend in there.
Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret about.
But you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Burya. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? Bed, no. In this thing?
Naru-san, are you there?
Sorry? I'm right here, yes. Why?
Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home.
Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know.
Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes.
I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. A speckled band could be a cat. Could be a raccoon, trained for killing. A transforming robot. There's one of these next to the bed in Cosmo's cabin too.
Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist.
No! barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug too. Oh.
No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come.
Well, we don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. Dummy. Last stop is the vent. The vent. The vent. The bed. The vent.
So this ventilator connects to Cosmo's cabin next door.
Wait, what's that? That was Rita's voice.
Yes, although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room.
Ah, maybe it's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm.
Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning.
That is a possibility. Anyway, last night Cosmo wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. Ding-a-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling.
Ah! What's that?
Whee! Oh. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile force. Full stop. Hard to starboard. All hands brace for impact. What the?
I think we're about to crash into another ship.
Wait, what? What?
I can't stand. Suzato-san, hold on to me. Wow!
Suzato-san, are you alright? Oh, well, I had it mixed up. Suzato-san, hold on to me. I can apparently reuse a girl now. Are you alright? Are you injured at all?
I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naru-san.
It looks like we avoided a collision. And we're locked in. Oh.
I think...
Yes, the ship has come to a stop.
Oh my goodness. What about you, Naru-san? Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need our assistance. Oh, that sounds like...
Inspector Hasanaga.
Is that you in there, Naru-san? Unbolt the door quickly. What? The bolt... Look at that. Oh, look at that. The door is bolted. Did you do that, Suzato-san?
No, I didn't touch it.
Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. They are just like they were before again.
Naru-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in?
I'd better tidy up this place first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Is it the Hong Kong police? Oh no, what's happening? My dog is like sleeping so comfortably on my pillow, on my bed. Alright. Spicy. 9th January. SS Beria. Miss Pavlova's cabin. Somehow the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Cesaro-san took a deep breath, then gently slid the back bolt. Then gently slid back the bolt.
You! What are you doing, Miss Pavlov? You! What are you doing in Miss Pavlov's quarters?
Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine. Thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop.
Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere.
This first-class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment.
Oh, I see.
Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside?
Ah! You wicked intruder! Dressed all in black. You are the devil.
Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is the first.
Open my traveling case. How could you?
What? No, we didn't touch it.
That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector!
Yes?
Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. It is not enough that he has killed a man.
Nah, he's a story as well. If Vixen promised not to steal chicken, do you believe?
Ugh.
Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else.
Stowing away. But the trespassing, killing. She is right, you are devil.
Doesn't look good, does it?
The cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock on Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police.
Wait, cell?
Please, Inspector Hasanaga. Is there nothing you can do?
This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options.
This is terrible.
This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. What the frick? I just need to keep calm and focus on task at hand, which is investigating.
Don't touch my things.
You want me to show you where the crawfish hibernates?
Hiya!
Miss
Mizunaro, what do you think you're doing?
Wow, everyone's attacking me, and I was just starting to think she was my friend. Isn't there anyone who can help me at the time of out of this mess? I just want to inspect everything. I mean, I need to go to him, but to inspect Sholmes, but you've got yourself into a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now, if this has happened, I will have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to rescue me from this crisis. Oh, is there anyone who can help me? Please, just give me a little more time. I do nothing for you, except show you the way to ship's prison cell. Thanks, but no thanks. But I mean, listen, I didn't kill anyone. And trespassing and stowing away? Well, you know, sometimes life can lead you down some unusual avenues, and well, enough. You are guilty. Ship's cells is only place fit for you. Come on, there has to be someone. Some savior to rescue me from this crisis. Miss Pavlova, could I... Get out! Listen, I'm sorry that we snuck in here without your permission, but... Get out now! We just needed to investigate in here and help out understand what the fuck? It's no use. She's not going to listen. I need to find someone who will... I just found some random shit. Alright, let's... Oh, dang it. Okay, then it's the floor. We just have to lick the floor. Alright, obviously. What the... What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes? Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of a 20,000 ruble feels like on one's head. He looks beautiful. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? What? This is mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wished to determine if it would bend the conceited looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. Ugh, I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is it to report? Speak! An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Beria, has been solved by me, naturally. Huh? What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to eliminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Again? Ah, you have solved it? Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all know who was responsible for killing student boy this morning when we found criminal in waterroom. It is this doorway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must have been someone who was inside the cabin.
Yes, it's what I call a locked room mystery in detective stories.
Locked room. That is the point.
The room was locked.
Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all.
What?
Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open mouthed. Why, it gapes open mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator, man! The ventilator? You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim cabin through that tiny opening. It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. I'm losing everyone's accents.
Mr. Sholmes, do you mean? Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled bat is dangling from the ventilator grill.
Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Oh, let's rock and sock and robot now, bitches! No, that's true. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not. I am ready. I'm gonna knock the fuck out of it. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cause. Behold! Kia! Ah! What? Oh, what the? A snake! I knew it was a snake! Oh my god. Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The speckled band. A snake? Indubitality. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say?
Yes, you're right. I think in this case you would have to call it slithering. The striped band, wouldn't you?
You both see and observe with distinction, however. Do you not think that is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall?
Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap?
How exactly?
To think perhaps it is time I explained the intricacies of my train of thoughts.
Are you ready, Miss Pavlova?
I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death is nothing to His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing was nothing to do with me.
There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin.
Ah!
Number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No traces of poison, so that's not true.
No.
She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He has hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Sulky? It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular! The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Intruder's identity. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet, you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. Oh my god! Oh my god! The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled bear. That is crazy. Whereas, regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eye last night?
No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this.
Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, and been behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying to failing to conceal can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Eventually, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin. No?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Last night, through the ventilators visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled bear. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it slows its skin. A snake so dreadful we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Conclusion: a beloved speckled snake. Topic 2. How Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as a fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime.
Oh no, could they be?
Yes, an examination of the deceased bodies will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost but not quite imperceptible puncture wound left by the venomous fangs seal the truth. Where? Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend.
This makes no sense. This makes no sense.
There is no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you choose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt.
You don't...
It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend.
To train?
Indeed, you'd put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared to not have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training?
It's not true.
Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins and ending his existence forever. Jesus. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. My dog looked at me when I said speckled. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Conclusion: death by a venomous snake's bite. Ha! Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band.
I love these. These are freaking amazing.
Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature.
Incredible. You solved the mystery. Amazing. Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Sherlock Holmes has become such a household name. Hey. No, don't lick my pillow. No. My dog was licking my pillow.
My dear man,
Relax.
it was nothing remarkable, as the Russians say. I could have done it with one left hand.
Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Holmes?
But of course, what's on your mind?
It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me.
I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly.
Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family.
You are well informed, madame.
And reptiles, don't drink milk.
I don't know why that's funny.
It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward.
No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds.
Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling.
But madame, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute?
I think perhaps the performers play the music in time with the snake's natural movements.
Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears? These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless.
Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Holmes.
There is one other thing.
You have more? You have more?
Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves.
Oh.
So I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat belt cord like the ones in these cabins.
Then it should try harder.
Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Holmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this.
He's an idiot. I don't know what this is gonna say.
I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naru.
Oh no, you don't mean...
Yes, we need to modify Mr. Shelm's latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. By saving the game. Poking my dog in the butt. I don't know why I did that.
Milk? had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try.
Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruto.
Yes, right.
So, cast your eyes down to your wrist again.
What? You've done it again!
The handcuffs are gone.
Where did they go?
Fear not. I shall say they're restored after our work is done.
I really wish you'd leave them off.
Now, everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Topic 1. Intruder's identity, a beloved speckled snake.
Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes. When you recall those horrid events with your aching heart.
Smiles with pain. She does have a pained expression on her face.
Yes, that's true. It looks as though Kazuma Summer's death is weighing heavily on her mind.
But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes had read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then?
Let's take a moment and really look closely at Miss Pavlova.
Oh, she's got a scratch on her arm. Why? That's the scream. It's a claw scratch. Aching heart. She really does look troubled.
Yes, it's hard to believe that she's putting that expression on to fool us.
But if you look closely, it's almost like she's actually staring at something.
At what? What do you think?
Perhaps something physically causing her pain. We'll have to take a closer look. She has a headache. Oh wait, what? Right ear? Wait, what?
She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells.
Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear. It's an earring.
I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry.
An earring, is it? It's really tiny.
Perhaps part of it's missing. Maybe it broke off. So now, all that's left is the clasp part that attaches to the ear.
If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. I mean, that's not pain, is it? It's actual... Oh, she actually has another one. Left ear. Oh.
She has such...
What's that? There's something dangling from her ear, left ear. Ah, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood.
It's charming, isn't it?
Women do seem to love adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears, it screams.
Well, jewelry is beautiful now, son.
But it can't be that. It has to be a claw scratch. Right? Like you don't have... Because you had the shed skin. I want to just go through all the options just to make sure. Oh. Alright, claw scratch. Let's just do that. That's the pain. Oh, Naru-san.
Oh, Naru-san, look. This looks like a very painful wound.
It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently, too.
Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here.
It has to be this.
Yes!
Yeah. Yes! When you called those horrid events, that claw scratch marks with pain. Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh.
Ah,
Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night?
ah! Mm. When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. Ah!
And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that propitious night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I expected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except snakes don't have claws, do they?
No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow.
Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers?
We should follow her gaze now, son. That's where we'll find the answer.
Oh, it's a cat. It's in the teapot. It's in the window. How did we not notice the photo frame on the table this whole time, though? The more I look at this creature, the more its stripes stand out. It's a very impressive snake, isn't it?
Oh yes, it really is. And it seems to be doing its best to squeeze this poor sailor's head until it bursts.
Yes, it's a terrifying sight and slightly heartwarming at the same time. Anyway, it would probably be a good idea not to get too close. It's so good. The Stroganoff is the pet. There's no doubt, is there? She looked in this direction, straight as Seaman Stroganoff.
Well, they do seem to be friends of sorts, but I can't imagine how he could possibly fit through that ventilator.
Don't forget that I managed to fit inside Kazuma's trunk when we first boarded this ship.
I would ask what that proves, but I think an equivocal little smile would be more effective.
Alright, teapot. I have a feeling that it was this teapot that Miss Pavlova's eyes flickered over. It is a cat. Over to before.
You think this is the friend she's been talking about?
Well, we're all different, aren't we? Whatever we might say about it, if that's the way she feels.
I don't think I'll say anything about it then. You and the teapot can discuss it instead.
Wait, that's not what I meant. It's in the window. Photograph frame, obviously. But why didn't we see this? Oh, that's cute! Ah, look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away.
She is exceptionally beautiful, isn't she?
Yes, that's true, but personally, it's the little black creature she's holding onto that's caught my eye. Maybe we'd better take a close look at this. That must be a stage costume she's wearing.
It's quite stunning. I should like to have something like that.
And she's wearing the 20,000 rubles on her, and as well. Look,
It's called a tiara, Naru-san, and you shouldn't think of it purely in terms of its value.
she must be a strong-willed woman to turn her back on the world stage and run away all on her own. Little kitten. Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova is cuddling here.
Oh, what a cute little kitten! It could vie with you, couldn't it? Naru-san, for the blackest outfit.
A black kitten. And from the look of this picture at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it. Obviously.
Yes!
Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear.
Oh no.
The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you?
Ah! Daka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Well, I couldn't leave her behind.
Daka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observation on the night in question tells of a speckled bear, whereas regrettably, this specimen's marking do not fit that description in any way. In the bell. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eye last night?
No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this.
Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. No. Yes. That which you were trying to... That which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's love skin. Nope. Did you see that?
She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back.
If she'd just left it in her pocket, no one would ever have known.
Oh yes, ploys like that are Mr. Sharm's speciality. He's ever so cleverly forced to reveal something.
I thought deductions was his specialty. Or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too.
Anyway, I find it hard to believe that that's the skin of a snake.
In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? Could it actually be her earring? What is that? It's like some sort of handle. Well, it is speckled, and it is a band, but what is it? It seemed to be soft and fluffy, a long piece of cloth of some sort, and that looks like a handle at one end. Oh, it's a yeah.
I think it may be a cat's toy. This sort of common in the West, apparently.
How is that a toy for cats?
Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them and they pounce to catch it.
Haha, that sounds positively adorable. Cat's toy. speckle, but okay. So it's not skin. What was the thing? It's... Okay, we already went through that. It's really tiny. Perhaps it's part of its head, maybe it's broken off. So now all that's left is the cheap part. That... Yep. Yes. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else on her left here. I mean, it's gonna say the same dialogue, but I just want to make sure. It's an earring, and the crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to love adornments like that in their hair, around the necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears, it seems. Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naru-san. Like how freaking... I want to see everyone else in the room. It's just the snake. That's cool. There's nothing else on it? That's a cat's toy. I mean...
Yes!
Yeah. Yes! The thing you are trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the new, now infamous speckled bag. Ah! And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could fail to notice it. Why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creatures to return. Ah. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of a cat by the name of Daka. Kya! Kya! A truly troublesome feline, young Daka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. The photograph of Miss Pavlova and Daka have been entered into the court record.
It was after I gave her her food last night.
It's just adorable, man. Adorable.
It was after I gave her her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bellcord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Daka, she is so naughty.
Conclusion, a beloved kitten. Sold. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life?
and why. According to the data with which I've apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury.
Ah,
In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the terrible venom.
What Mr. Shum says is true?
what Mr. Chum says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body.
That's right, but Mr. Shum seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned.
Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now.
Let's save. It would have to be this.
Yes!
Post-mortem report. Yeah. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report.
Ah, yes, I knew it was one or the other.
His neck was...
Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that.
Oh my god! Seaman strong enough isn't some immortal freak, you know.
The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm that it's at the scene of the crime.
Oh no, could there be?
Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively.
Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone.
Yes, that's a distinct possibility.
As of yet, no weapon has been found though.
Well, as of yet, no weapon has been found though.
Presumably Daka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him with a fatal blow.
I suppose. It's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident.
Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it.
It's rather hard to believe Kazuma-sama though. He wasn't a clumsy man.
Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? Could it just be this? That's my guess at the moment. Because he was dragged? He was dragged. Or this, because it's...
yes!
Mark on the floor, okay. Yes, an examination of the mark of the floor will prove that the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim body, is a deposit of shoe polish.
Shoe polish?
Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry out as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow and dye were my results, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish.
And the color of the polish is the perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's laced leather boots. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot on that point on the floor and tripped.
Please, no.
And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor.
And what?
Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in an instant he lost his eye.
No! I don't know. I don't know anything about this.
Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene of where Mr. Sogi lost his life?
Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrayed the hiding place you choose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case.
I don't believe it.
Kazuma-sama was merely tripped over and... Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it.
I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened.
But...
And if this part of Mr. Sherm's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that will prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes.
Where, I wonder?
Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. Not the tiara. Wastepaper bucket.
This is a wastepaper bucket, wow. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them.
But Miss Pavlova only started occupying the cabin late last night. Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet. Yep, there's the evidence. Oh, what's that?
It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I feel like I've seen this somewhere before.
And if it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you.
Alright, it's obviously that then. Travel case. This is where Miss Pavlova hid her friend.
That's right, and it wasn't a snake after all.
No, it was that little kitten she calls Daka. Not that it's anywhere to be seen now. It seems to have let itself out of the cage and gone exploring.
I expect it's wrapped itself around someone's head somewhere, trying to make a new friend.
Either that, or it's scratching their hand into pieces. Two pieces. Point is, where has it got to? Traveling case tiara. It's obviously the wastepaper basket because of the other piece, but I like to explore. Ah, somebody appears to have dropped 20,000 rubles here.
It hasn't been dropped, Noah-san. It's been placed.
I'm starting to sound like Mr. Shams.
Stop trying to sound like the great detective.
Okay.
Yes!
That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that wastepaper basket.
Ah!
Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem.
One that has a familiar air, in fact.
Precisely. We found another piece of the broken glass on the floor in Mr. Sogi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly.
Oh no.
So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be this
why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the wastepaper basket in your cabin?
Yeah!
You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? It's the cat's bell?
I don't.
I don't know. In that hushed Russian accent of yours won't serve you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question.
What? What?
Take it away, Mr. Naruto. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell, that would be... cat. It's 100% the cat. Because the cat...
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darker's collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who... the young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darker.
No, no. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry.
Death by tripping over a cat. Solved. Deduction complete. Elementary. That can't be... That's... I don't know. Okay. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night.
It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late I hadn't had time to feed Taka, so I gave her some food.
Oh.
And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands.
People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments.
She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her.
And that's how you... and that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it.
Yes. And I had read the, rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Taka with me.
Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. Oh, I didn't know that.
So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin.
Oh, no.
It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point...
Oh, sorry. Oh my god, I did the wrong voice. Oh no, it's alright, I did the right voice. So at that point you thought it safe to try lure the kitten back again by dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator into the adjoining cabin.
Taka always loves his toy. This toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling her softly, but nothing. She didn't return.
So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in this diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve a pet. Okay. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened.
Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then...
Meow, thud. Oh no.
I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out and then... Oh, it was a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent.
Kazuma was... Huh. From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS barrier is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without rolling. If Mr. Soki was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. And that's how the door was locked. But what of the writing? That makes no sense to me. But what became of the kitten afterwards?
In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator.
Yet Darko is nowhere to be seen.
I must have forgotten to lock my keys, and now she's disappeared again.
Gracious, that cat is insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least.
When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died, but I couldn't bring myself to anyone what had happened.
Oh.
I was too scared that they would send me back.
Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right, where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlov, then whose is it? And where did it come from? What on earth is... Why is he smiling when saying... What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board the ship? Oh, I didn't say? Snake is my friend. His name is Pirosko. What? What? That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect them to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. We are at sea for 1 year. You want me to... Jesus, like that. You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear Burley's fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake surely can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Piroshko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He is adorable, like Remy. It's venomless? Yes. Now he is very hungry. He is hungry, so he is unboundable. But once I feed him, he will see big smile. And you feed him what? Oh, you feed him what? Milk, I suppose. Like they say, the milk chickens are ridiculous.
Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Piroshko eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses.
So is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for?
Of course. I was gonna get my friends' favorite food.
Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. Oh, what happened to his eyes?
It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the juice? Oh my god! How the juice did something so inept land a starring role? It is not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Poroshko is nothing to do with this incident.
So that's what happened? That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. But what about the writing? I don't understand the writing. Let me read the writing.
Miss Pavlova?
Right here. Instant death. Writes this.
Miss Pavlova? I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. What?
What are you talking about, Miss Mikitova? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events, an accident.
I'm not a great detective like Mr. Sholmes, and I don't have a gift of knowing the truth. But even I can see that that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naru?
The writing. To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh? I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Narurodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Not again. When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrist as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Cosmo was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Narurodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. And about how about No, and how that scene in your cabin really came to be. That was a creepy scene. Oh, alright, I'll see what I can do.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Naruto.
So then, shall we begin?
Yes!
What should we ponder first?
How long have I been going? 2.5 hours. Okay.
It's the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident, or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance.
But we've already established it, haven't we?
The man tripped over the kitten that climbed into his cabin via the ventilator.
Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Wait, let's just step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, I'm starting to take shape now. It's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlov's stories here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin, it's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident.
Ha!
But really? Let us show our hands, Mr. Naruto.
Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no accident.
It's the handwriting.
Yes!
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this in the message on the floor. That script is Russian. It's Russian, isn't it?
Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe.
I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case.
But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast.
That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah! Which means after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead.
Ah! That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Sogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlov told us was true.
What? What was that? The bell? What? So, Suzato-san has noticed it too then. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Wait, what? Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident, in other words. Huh? Wait, what? I'm lost, wait. I'm lost. I'm a little bit lost. Another piece of evidence That proves this was no accident, in other words. The book? Because this wasn't recorded? This was assisted?
Yes!
What point are you trying to make with that? I'm starting to see how Cosmo's different, I think. Nope. Ting. Nope. It can't be the book, I used it too early. It's assisted. It's implying it's assisted. It's this. Wait.
Yes!
I don't know. Wait. I need to think this through. I actually really need to go to the toilet for a little bit, but it has to be this? Oh, okay. This piece of broken glass next to the mark of the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around the thing. We already know about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, this is a very weak flaw, a fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Ah.
Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no.
Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Soki died last night in his cabin... Oh geez, that's scary, that silhouette. There was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt.
Yeah! Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Soki's.
You are wasting time. Someone else was there? Nah, of course, we know this.
What are you talking about?
Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out.
Oh, yes.
And only oh my god, and only other person in cabin when young student died was you.
Yes!
It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have write that message. Not would have, there's no way you could have left that message, to be precise. Oh no, not would have, there's no ways you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Ah ha 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 ha! Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. And in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Osogi really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half of the bell was only going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. A single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would have barely caused any light onto the floor there. Would barely cast any light to the floor there.
Little wonder then the culprit failed to notice a fragment of a tiny item.
You all suspect me, don't you?
Hold it. The snake is gone. Seaman Stroganoff. Nina is a woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet army. But before, she was dancer on the ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. No. So that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. Wait, what? But that is not possible. I'll give my tooth.
Well, that is most interesting. Well, he did it himself. Yeah, he's in cahoots.
This is almost interesting. Now, why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You are a great detective. You should know. Look truth in eyes. The cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not me, not anyone. Oh, you want to tell me that killer can walk through the doors? Yet is impossible.
He's right.
But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around doors latches so they can open and close them from the outside.
Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors as one would expect to find.
Oh shit, I need to charge my iPad. Give me a sec. Alright.
Certainly not. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, and as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight, no threads or needles or magnets could have been used.
No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruto suggested it earlier, so...
Zara-san, how could you shift it onto me like that? So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside.
So not necessarily.
What?
I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, you can see the traces of the method I have in mind have been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruto, I believe you know what I mean, don't you?
A way to shut in the bolt of the cabin door from the outside? One way does bring to mind, yes?
Do you really know what Mr. Shomi is, Mr. Naruto?
Yes, and so should you, because we've seen it happen. Yeah.
Indeed we have, so could you care to do the honest, Mr. Naruto? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door across from the outside.
The emergency. If I'm led to believe, that was the emergency. No? It's not highlighting. I really need to go to the toilet though.
Yes!
This is it. This shows how it was done. Oh, this isn't. Alright, I really need to go to the bathroom. Alright. Oh no, not save. Oh no, this is load. What? But I can't move. It was the emergency. Okay, actually, could it just be the books?
Yes!
Yes, it is. Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over?
That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before.
Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel. After all, when the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over.
I believe. Yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects.
Then nothing Suzaru-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over the books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door.
Ah,
It was very obvious just as if after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hasanaga.
oh yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door.
Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of inertia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Sogi was killed... Yep. The SSB had made another emergency stop. I mean, everyone else is filling there. When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and the ornaments, all the ornaments, it was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over.
Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I?
Then we came into this cabin. We were surprised the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like Mr. Sogi's cabin.
Oh my.
Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Beria made emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room? Oh, it is simple enough. Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the buttons in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm?
Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there, telling you to only press the button in times of an emergency.
Yes. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewmen to raise the alarm. That's the sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Oh.
Wait, it was you?
When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today.
Mr. Shams, surely it wasn't you who...
As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself.
How dare you mess with ship? I will report you to captain. You are in much trouble now.
Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin door slide closed. So, what we must now consider?
Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Sylvie, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You are idiots. Boya is huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop, even in middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruto? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea.
Really? What evidence, Mr. Naru?
Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night? It has to be a book.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. Wow. It's your duty to patrol the first class area of the ship, isn't that right?
Da, that is correct. Why?
In the ship's log here, this would be where you record the details of your duties.
What are you doing with that? That is mine.
Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway up there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later.
I left it on the day on purpose. That is where I put it always.
The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log?
That is... Da! Because nothing happened.
But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Uh-oh. Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened. Here aboard the SS Shibuya. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log to effect.
You're suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish.
If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed.
That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now.
We were asleep.
The ship lurched so violently and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night.
Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing? Sorry? What do you mean?
Your head, man. the throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it.
Ha!
I was gonna say, we don't have evidence to show that. Oh yes, I have had a headache. You're right. We all were knocked out simultaneously. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up.
Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn.
Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right, my head's been throbbing today too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe in cuffs and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all of this was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naru, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes, sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Cosmo looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact. I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you?
Oh! Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken?
I do. No, really. Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Oh. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. Oh, a sleeping drug?
Do you mean how did this lace every meal with a sleeping drug, so no one would have noticed the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Naru! Of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea.
Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible, unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What?
Mr. Sholmes!
Well, see, man? I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade.
Please, no more. I will tell everything. I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore.
These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe.
Yes, so when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me.
We all agreed to help everyone together. She threw away everything, the fame and the bad name, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel.
I don't believe it.
You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night.
Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point.
Duh! We could not make all drug. How do you say dissolve?
Ah, talk about heavy seasoning.
At last night, in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrade on shore with small fishing boat.
While all the passengers of the SS Burya slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So, if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who disliked chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop to You could have used the emergency stop to lock Kazuma cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite, and accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes. Okay, I should. Alright, never mind. The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep in there with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so, not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. Dang.
You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point?
The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night.
But
I don't know any about any of this. I am just a little girl.
you like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long boring stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes.
A laudable trait.
What?
I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruto. Oh, yes? Did you hear the accusatory cry of guilt on the wind? What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No. You must hear it with your eyes, for observation is the basis of all deduction.
What are you talking about?
I believe the time has come. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth.
So, Mr. Naruto, your assistance, if you please.
With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes?
With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said, of these two prevaricators.
God dang these words. Observation?
If you remember, Mr. Naruto, you know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asoki's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two were there when it happened.
Precisely. You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning.
Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone was there last night when Kazuma died. There's paint? Oh, I can't... This we keep going back to. Ink stain. Oh, look at this. It's some kind of stain in an unusual place.
Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken.
Ink. And look at the color too. It's clear where this came from. Really? Chunky arms. He has arms like tree trunks, doesn't he? Hairy tree trunks.
Yes, he certainly has sailor arms. He's born of man on the sea.
Even if I had been awake, I couldn't have done anything about being dragged out of that road by this man.
Haru-san? Are you alright? You seem to be lost in thought.
Oh, sorry. Blame those hairy tree trunks. It has to be the ink.
She was quite between...
Yeah. I've already been through this. Yes, we've been through this. It has to be the ink stain. Skip all of this. I didn't need to. And it seems, well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruto-san. It's the ink.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff.
You seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there.
Yeah? Ah, yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from.
So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain.
What are you trying to say?
It would appear the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform.
And I think what made it is clear.
Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruto, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves that what that stain on the back of the Seaman's really is. Mark on the floor. I should say, but there should be mark on the floor. Mark on the floor. Or not. Oh, no, 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 no. It's the ink. What am I doing? It's this.
Yes!
He wrote it. Crime scene photograph. Yes. It's this photograph and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Oh! Ah. The penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of the exactly same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilled. Alright, yes, it was me. I did it. Everything. Huh? I arranged everything in that student's cabin to make it look like wardrobe ma'am did it. Then I pressed button to make Beria do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our injury.
Biff, please.
Please? Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then an angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Biff, please. You must help me.
I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student body on floor. What happened here?
Please, don't tell anyone. My little one, my little fairy friend.
Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over and broke his neck when he... Then he tripped over and broke his neck when he fell to the floor? Yes, that is right. That doesn't seem right. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers? Only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried. She was worried when she heard sound of something falling on the floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked, so she opened it to look, and you already know what happened after. Oh.
There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind.
What?
When you went to Mr. Asoki's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead?
Oui. I already told you. When Nina opened door of student's cabin and looked inside.
I was asking Miss Pavlova.
Well, Miss Pavlova? Uh-oh.
Da! Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark. He was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared.
I don't know.
I understand, and I believe you.
So, is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last?
Ah, something nearly slipped my mind.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes?
This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck, therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Falling forward to break your neck, you can't do that.
What do you mean unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruto?
Oh, well,
if Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck,
which part of this photograph seem unnatural? His left arm. What? It would be his left arm because you can brace the fall with both hands, it looks like.
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right.
The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat.
Oh, okay.
Yet here we have the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he was gripping something.
What do you mean?
Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago.
You did?
And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us. Why, of course, my dear madame. Why would I keep you in suspense?
The earring.
Oh, this is what I found. Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle?
Yes, you're right, a crescent moon. It's very pretty. What does it tell us?
It tells us nothing.
I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before.
Observation, Mr. Naruto. That is the key.
What?
The truth is now tantalizingly close.
How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist?
This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe, find the answer with your own eyes.
Chunky arms. Okay, same thing. Do I say the left or do I say the right? Left because it's missing? So do I say that? I'm just trying to think. Because then, you know, it's already there. So you got this from the ink that was spilled from the floor. Yes, presumably when he was trying to arrange the scene of the ink to point at you. Did you see his face when I pointed it out before? He turned this color himself. He was so angry. If he really had turned this color, I would think he would have been ill, not angry. Well, anyway, I don't think this is relevant here. Obviously, it's the earring. But we say right or left? She has such pretty ears, almost over here, like that little big shells. Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear. Ah, I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry. An earring, is it? It's really tiny. Perhaps it's part of its screen maybe broke off. So now all that's left is clasp attached to her ear. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. It's just the same dialogue, so it's the right one. Lefty. She has such pretty ears along the back of her hair, like that lovely shells. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling from the ear. Yes, it's an earring. Wait, look! It's the crescent moon! Ah, there can be no doubt, surely. Okay. It's the...
Yes!
Alright. Miss Pavlova, on your ear there. I see you have a crescent moon as well. Ah! What? And on your other ear, there seems to be a crescent moon missing. The little link holding it on must have broken, I guess. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there is one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naharoto? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Soki must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from the ear, perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night, in Mr. Soki's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Soki do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final minutes?
Oh no.
Angel?
No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova.
No one can protect you now. No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth last night. What did you do to Kazuma?
Ah!
When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin, I could relax after this horrible long day. Meow. Daka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Daka would not come back. Knock, knock. Clunk. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country, he was very polite and kind. He helped me find Daka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, I was going to leave the man's cabin. Just a moment, sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Oh! Ha! Ah, of course, you're Nikolina Pavlovna, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on this ship? Sure, I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment.
I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice.
I see. So you've run away.
Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone.
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him?
No! Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait! I shouted, and then, meow. Daka jumped out of my arms, and then down to the young man's feet, and as he turned around to look at me, I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. Ow. And that's when you went to fetch help from Seaman Stroganoff, who was on duty out on the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and third on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said,
Help me, Biff. If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go.
So you decided to help, and that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went to the cabin and looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found stowaway in the wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when he found me.
So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway.
I closed the wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Suzaru-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged the young man's body to a good place and used ink that was spilling to right on floor. I wrote wardrobe so that person who found them would look inside the wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell?
It was by my feet, so I picked it up.
I see.
But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half.
But then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished too. By pressing emergency alarm button in the passage, or by pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Burya did come to an emergency hold a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolts on the cabin door to slide shut, creating a locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova.
What?
Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland, and it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain you pushed him. And it's because that you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Wait, hold on. Rewind. There's one thing that's on. Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact you'd run away from your homeland. Wait. the captain, isn't that right?
Yes.
But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, but it just had to reread it.
It was what he said first that made me scared.
What he said first? What are you doing here at a time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
He said Inspector was his friend.
Ah, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard.
I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, May I stop you for a moment, please, Miss Pavlova?
Huh?
It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, Mr. Sogi was really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruto?
Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done.
No, he was walking all over toward it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back.
Well, Mr. Naruto, the day's work is not done yet, it seems. There is one more deduction to make.
What? Another deduction? What? Oh my god, my dog sneezed and thrown the glasses case to the other side of my bed. Yes, what actions was this victim actually about to take at the moment he was going to go to me?
Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin.
That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still, that cabin has been my home for this entire voyage.
So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama?
Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr.
Naruto?
Yes. If there's not one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal a matter of truth. I should save, just to make sure. I'm pretty sure he's speaking about the road drive. Wait, you never know. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze of where it lands. So, when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? It has to be the wardrobe. The bed. His bed. I remember him being annoyed about the pillow. He said it was too thin. He didn't put that big, thick book of Japanese law underneath it. Didn't he put that big book of Japanese law? Perhaps he was thinking of looking something up. Either that or talking to Miss Pavlova made him actually tired. Pillow perfectionist? I like that. Bell cord. The bell cord. So Miss Pavlova thought he was just coldly ignoring her request and going to pull the cord. But the Kazuma I knew would never have done something like that. No, I'm not sure of it. It's the wardrobe, obviously, like I said. Wardrobe. wardrobe. My wardrobe. I was in there at the time, of course, sleeping soundly, too soundly. If only I hadn't eaten that chicken that was laced with a sleeping drug. If only he had woken me up, then maybe this tragedy would have never happened. So what?
Take that!
Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however. What is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe.
The wardrobe?
And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? What was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping sound.
Ah! Miss Pavlova, please think back very carefully. What were Mr. Soki's exact words last night?
Give me a moment, I could use another opinion here.
Another opinion.
Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Isoki attended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if between them they might be able to help in some way, no doubt.
Oh, no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish she had made sure of what Mr. Soki was looking at.
Oh god, I need to let my dog out.
Things may have ended very differently if you had. It's your freaking fault! I hate you!
Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for you finally admitting the truth. Oh no, she said, but I need to let my dog out. Give me a sec.
I'm a murderer. I'm going to jail. I am only 15. I kill people for a living.
Right? 15? She's 16 and she's 15. But unfortunately, the truth is a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that.
I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done?
And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on SS Burya was finally laid to rest. 9th January, 7:14 p.m. SS Burya, first class, cabin, passageway. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russian try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? What? Okay. So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's an exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Singing Stroganoff? I wanted to help out Angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you lost a good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself the British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but... Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Duh. Well, I'm afraid you need a pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the council to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes. I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So you should get back to your cabin now. It looks like my study tour for Great Britain is over before it even begun then. To think that only days ago Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London. That seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? It's... Zaru-san?
Naru-san, I didn't know you had returned.
Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hasanaga just told me I should pack, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Oh?
I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over, just like that.
Suzaru-san.
He had such grand ideas for his visit to Great Britain, so many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. Now it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much now, son. It's just too much.
Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say.
Inspector.
My duty was to see Asoki-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. And I've let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now, and... Wait, what? I'm free again now, at least... Huh? Oh, you fool! Oh, you stupid fool! Surprised, Mr. Naruto? What? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them for old time's sake. Shall we? Shall we say you're our restorer after all? He thinks this is funny?
Mr. Sholmes, we do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Not at all, not at all. Though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heart-rending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible.
We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. But the terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. I know, I don't care for me, but poor Cesaro-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. Oh. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, Shirley.
But there is no one with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Shums. We know of no other lawyer.
Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be little of value in Great Britain, I'm afraid.
Oh, but
anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Wait, what?
yes.
Miss Cesaro?
Yes?
Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it?
Ah!
But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naharu. Oh, unless are you studying law? No, I'm not, but I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work.
But, as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruto?
Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain.
Mr. Naru!
That's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody can learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector. Every single day, will you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma, he said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. Ding! He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion come to nothing. And anyway, it's all for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Cesaro?
No.
Game over. Oh,
I think it's a wonderful idea.
hey, thank you.
So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say?
Are you serious?
One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable.
No, it's madness.
It's fascinating, wouldn't you agree?
Fascinating?
Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination.
Speak for yourself.
Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters of his character, no? Ding! And you've witnessed evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until the very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all else, courage.
No, he hasn't.
Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here.
Oh, thank you, Inspector.
If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report.
Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naru?
Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know, everything about being a lawyer?
No.
It's easy to say no.
I would be delighted to help you. I am judicial assistant after all.
Thank you.
And Mr. Naruto, I'd like you to take charge of this.
What? Me? Are you sure?
I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Azuri clan for generations.
Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it, always. So then, Miss Suzato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet.
It will be an order, Mr. Naruto. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study.
Yes, that's exactly what I need.
But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you, too.
Goodness, what is it?
Please throw me to the ground 3 times.
Wait, what? What?
I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course, you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. No matter how upset I was feeling, I was completely unforgivable. It was a completely unforgivable behavior.
No, you were in shock. You'd just found out about me stowing away. And the cabin door was locked from inside.
No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. And not just once, but 5 times.
Ha. The numbers keep creeping up, doesn't it?
Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it.
No. I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruto. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training.
Oh, Mr. Shams.
I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess, I was most impressed. When did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling.
Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique. Apparently it's called the Suzato takedown.
Oh, apparently it's called the Suzato takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I am a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I am somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. wonder if you'd be so kind to... I wonder if you'd be so kind to as instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw.
Yes, I'd be on it.
Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madame.
Oh, of course.
Oh no. The 6th time.
Are you ready, Mr. Naruto?
Sorry?
Hiya!
Oh god.
As you can see, you throw from the abdomen.
Oh yes, arresting indeed. And that is what you turn the Cesaro takedown, is it?
Actually, no. That was a Susato squash.
In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. Karuma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely? A Japanese man's sword is a sword, Ryu. I can't be parted away from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels with its wielding to slice evil in two. Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do, I still don't know what that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. Crash course candidate.
What an episode. I mean, I actually still liked it. I don't know if I liked it as much as I thought I don't know. I still had to... Usually, like after when I complete an episode of a Phoenix Wright game, I always like to think it through just to reminisce of all the events and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah, that's... I probably need to just have like a little time just to think about that whole episode. The first one was good. That was fun, like a good introductory episode. This one I still I'm not completely sure. Like I said, I'll think about it once for a couple of days or so, something like that. Just see what my mind's at. And yeah. Anyways, I'm probably going to call it for tonight. I'm very exhausted. It's like 5:25 a.m. I need a nap badly. I need to sleep actually. My sleep schedule is just like completely non-existent anymore. Like I sleep a couple hours here, a couple hours there, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. Oh, it's a mess. Complete mess. Anyways, thank you all for watching. We'll finally finish episode 2. It was very interesting. 3 parts. 3 parts in, 2 episodes done. The next one is called The Adventure of the Runaway Room. So, yeah. I'll see you all next time.